I trust your videography.
Sweet. Let's see if we need this on or not. Oh, I may have not a battery juice. That's okay.
Do you need a charger? You have an iPhone?
No, it's a charger for the light thing.
Oh, okay.
We have to charge it before coming, but
Can it run on a cord, maybe?
oh, actually, yes. Actually, now that you mention it, there's a plug right there behind it. And I do have a cord right here. Hey, Charlie. I'm so used to just making do, man. I need to learn to step my game up and
Okay.
just go ahead and do what I need to do.
All right.
Not disturb is on.
All right. So we're rolling for real now? Okay.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again today on the Full Disclosure Podcast. My name is Paris Han Miles, and today I am with TJ, owner and CEO of Jefferson Graphics.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here today. TJ is an Oregon native. Born and raised in the area, he left after high school and returned to the area back in 2016. He is just days away from his second anniversary as a local business owner and entrepreneur of the Rogue Valley. He is a movie lover and also happens to be semi-ambidextrous. And I think that's very important to acknowledge. We'll actually bring that up a little bit later in the show. But I did want to ask TJ, tell us a little bit about yourself, right? So you traveled a little bit and you came back, and tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, basically, when you grow up in an area, you kind of want to venture out and see the world. That's kind of how we all are when you're one of those kids that kind of grew up in the same geographic area the entire time. You kind of want to branch out and go places and see new things, which I think it's healthy for everybody to do at some point in their lives. I think it's kind of a rite of passage and stuff like that. A lot of it was self-exploring and learning about things, and then eventually, after working numerous sets of different jobs, I was able to find out that I was better off and happier in this general area anyway. So I'm glad to have. It's been 10 years now that I've lived in Grants Pass, and I'm kind of happy that I've made the move and commitment, even though there have been times and struggles where it's like, is this the right thing that I'm doing? Is this kind of is this really the thing that needs to be done? But everything just kind of fell into place even after a lot of hardships and things like that. And I feel very blessed to be how it all materialized later.
That's amazing. I'm very glad to hear that it's a story. And it's important, I think, for people to travel, to expand their horizons and see new areas, meet new people, I think it's amazing that you decided to come back and enrich the area with what you've gained. I'd also like to ask a little bit about how Jefferson Graphics got started. What was it like when you decided to start the business? Was it immaculate conception, or did it just kind of happen?
It kind of fell into my lap, basically. I worked for a production signage company that did vehicle wraps and light up signage and even light up vehicle wraps, if you could believe it.
Really?
Yeah. So it was pretty wild stuff. It was Luma Media was the name of the business. My former boss, he invented the light up vehicle wrap with phosphorus, and it was kind of a cool thing that they did. He started in Vegas. back in the early 2000s, and then he grew the company in Vegas, and then eventually he decided to live a quieter life in Grants Pass later on down the road, and then like I'd say he didn't really, most of his clientele were still like all over the world, just making all this stuff. He hired me on as the sole designer because his company he downsized it, and he brought me on in 2018. When I got on there, I knew how to design stuff, and I knew how to use all the software that he needed to have it done, and so I could engineer his lighting stuff so we could build it, wrap it, and manufacture it and sell it to people. Mm-hmm. So he knew how to build it, he knew how to run a business, he just didn't know how to design it on the computer to engineer it, and that's where I came in, and I had to learn very quickly how to figure that out to keep on going with it. Mm-hmm. I worked for Luma Media for 5 straight years. One of my favorite things to do was design these light up laptop skins for DJs. They had their name on the back of laptop skins. There's a couple local DJs in the area that have some of the products that I built while I worked at Luma Media. You might know a few of them by name. If I don't want to know if it's okay to name drop them right now or not, but
sure.
Okay. Anyways, so I worked there for in 2018. We struggled through and fought through the pandemic. I got to travel a few places. We went to Texas and later Sinaloa, Mexico, to train some other people to expand the product. And in summer of 2023, my boss came to me, sat me down at his desk and said, all right, here's where things are. Due to some problems with legalities and things, I am going to have to close my Luma Media down and go out of business. With that said, do you want to buy all my equipment and start your own signage company? So I'm like, yes, I do. So I did what I could to convince my folks and extended family to invest in me so I could purchase this equipment and move it all into my garage and my workspace, and then try to make it as a solo entrepreneur. And that's kind of where Jefferson Graphics was born. I would have loved to continue doing the light up vehicle vinyl stuff, but due to patents and legality stuff, I cannot legally carry it on at this time, as much as I'd like to, but I've been very happy and blessed to do vehicle wraps, signage, laser engraving, and even before I started as a graphic designer, I did know how to do some 3D printing, and I did have that as a side hobby, so I still do that on the side for everything if there's ever a 3D printed need. But for the most part, I like sticking with my signs, my banners, my vehicle wraps, and laser engraving for those special niche needs for business owners in this area. The first year I had Jefferson Graphics, it was a slow year, and I guess I could say the reason I came up with the name Jefferson Graphics, TJ is my initials. It stands for Thomas Jefferson, so I wanted to incorporate my middle name into that. And also, we live in the state of Jefferson, a state that almost happened in 1941. We almost joined Northern California and formed the 51st, actually no, we would have formed the 49th state at the time because there were only 48 states back then.
Amazing.
So they wanted to take the counties, the southernmost counties of Oregon and the northernmost counties of California, and form a new state. Well, as history goes, the year they were organizing this was 1941, and the day Congress was going to take a vote was going to be December 8th, 1941. But do you know what happened on December 7th, the day before?
Oh my gosh, what?
Pearl Harbor.
That's right.
So when Pearl Harbor happened, it kind of just threw a wrench in the gears of everything, and so the progress that we made to become that state, it never really happened. So it's kind of become a footnote in history. But I kind of want to figure that the name Jefferson, also with it being my middle name, ties into the locality of the
absolutely
of it too. And I pick gold as yellow and gold as a company color, well, black and gold basically, because it pays homage to the gold-rich region that we are of Grants Pass, because this was a strong gold mining community, and we have some of the purest gold in the country.
That's amazing. Yeah, the Oregon War. That's incredible.
So,
thank you for sharing that information. It's always important, I think, for us to pay homage to our local history. Remember, the things that have gone on for us to have the place that we have,
Right.
I think also, too, with the state lines that we have that technically separate Northern California and Southern Oregon, for a lot of us locals, that line doesn't really exist.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. We
Southern
have
Oregon and Northern California have a lot of similar principles. And what were you going to say?
Like, I think that you're right. I think that it is a political boundary, but I think the community across the two drawn borders, it's all just interconnected, and it's kind of like a wholesome thing. I'm hoping to someday expand my business, reach it deeper into the southern part of the state of Jefferson, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they would love to have you.
Yeah, my first year starting Jefferson Graphics, my very first client was actually my boss's neighbor, and I designed a couple of websites. Well, I didn't really want to do websites, but I kind of pushed myself to do it anyway because I needed a client and he knew me, so I said, okay, you're starting a daycare business, so I'll make you your logo and I'll build you your website. And so I did a little bit of that for him, and then I kept going into I tried to do all these things at once, and I am a multifaceted company, and a lot of things that it was hard for me to figure out how to make myself known and out there. So I did craft fairs. I teamed up with my mom's friend who was familiar with craft fairs because she sold a lot of soft goods and knitted stuff, and I learned soon that I did not like doing craft fairs because it was hard to figure out what people really wanted, and each craft fair was different depending on the time of the year, because sometimes people want Christmas stuff, some people want seasonal stuff, and then I did not like having to wake up early in the morning and haul boxes and boxes full of heavy merchandise to the place just to open up a booth and then have people just touch it and don't buy it, or they'll and it's like, oh my god. So I found that I was losing money and like barely breaking even, so it took me my biggest strides and biggest success moves was when I first got to wrap my brother's Tesla when he bought a brand new car. I wrapped it a nice metallic moss green, and he fell in love with it, and so that was sort of my first entry level, say, okay, this is what I can do. And I had a magnet sign on my Mustang with some decals on it. I put decals on my classic yellow Jeep pickup truck from the 1950s that I've tried taking that to car shows. So I've been trying to do a lot of visual stuff to get myself out there, because one of the biggest challenges when you're a business without a storefront, you're not as visible as your competitors who do. But I also think it's a great advantage too, because I'm not paying double rent. I'm not doing that. I have everything in the confines of my own place, and I don't have any overhead, which is also great.
Right.
But it has its own challenges.
Can I ask you to tell us a little bit more about that for folks who have never started their own business and maybe they're trying to decide if they need a storefront or if they can work out of their own home? What was that like to decide to work from home, and how much is home and how much is your business?
I mean, when you're working at home, it's great because you can you don't have to commute anywhere. Oftentimes, I love it because I can be the captain of both ships at the same time, and it's great. I think that it depends on your business type and what you can do. I think there's great advantages to having a storefront because when you're at work, you're always in the at work state of mind, and you're less likely to be distracted, of course. But what I say help me survive as a at-home businessman is that I get to oversee everything, and I get to sort of decide when I can work and take care of home things at once.
Mhm.
The I would say the best way to keep yourself from being distracted is to make sure that have a workspace where you can't be pulled away from at home based distractions, and you just devote yourself and commit to it. But when you're not visible on a map, like say people see your competitors' storefronts, whereas you're at home. The best thing that I found that could do, which kind of saved Jefferson Graphics, was being very involved in the community. You go to all these networking events. I joined the Chamber of Commerce, and it's great because the Chamber of Commerce is just a network of fellow entrepreneurs coming together. And honestly, when you're a graphics and sign business, your business is your clientele your clientele is fellow business owners. So that's kind of what I did. And when I did the Christmas parade in the first year, I was a sponsor in 2024 and 2025. But when I did in 2024, that unlocked a lot of visibility and achievements for Jefferson Graphics, because doing that, it helped me lead to some big name clientele, like and for other people who sponsored the parade. So I now wrap commercial trucks for big companies, and it's just been very helpful because everything you can do to be a part of the community and just be out there and talking. I find that fellow entrepreneurs in this area are very supportive of each other, and there's just a ton of referrals being given, and tons of names dropping. And I find that when people talk about Jefferson Graphics to their friends, I feel that it's part of my mission to talk about their business to other potential clients that I might know too. And that's how it's been so helpful and amazing for.
I think that's great, TJ.
Get going.
That's how we met, actually. Was at the 1 Million Cups event.
That's
on
right.
Wednesday mornings.
Yes, 1 Million Cups has been very beneficial for me too. I gave a speech about Jefferson Graphics early last December.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a link to that and put it in the bottom of the video. Okay, great. And so that's something actually I want to take a moment to talk about is connecting with our community. You know, I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, when they're first getting started, you don't know what all your resources are.
You really don't.
You don't know who's available to help you or how they can help you. And a lot of people feel like they don't even know where to start, you know? And I think that having community, people that you can bounce ideas off of, not just your friends or some folks you met in class at school, actual other entrepreneurs, people who are also trying to make moves for themselves, and being around other like-minded people who may have similar struggles or similar goals.
It is, and that's one thing that I would advise all entrepreneurs is lone wolves don't survive. You need to be in a pack. Like, even though technically Jefferson Graphics is kind of basically a one-man, and occasionally I have assistants where I need them, but I don't consider the community is your pack of wolves that you got to be with. You got to have some camaraderie with like-minded people to keep yourself afloat and always network and bounce ideas off each other. Because if you're just by yourself and think you can just do everything on your own, it's I mean, I was kind of a shy person for quite a bit of my life around strangers, and it took me a while to develop my comfort zone. And honestly, I find that a lot of people who want to start a business feel like they have their own mental blocks saying, oh, I'm too shy, I can't do this, I'm not organized enough, I have ADHD, I can't do this, I'm blah, blah, blah. Well, no, that's just negative self-defeating, that's a self-defeating prophecy right there. You need to, what you need to do is you need to step out of your comfort zone and find out that what these limited subconscious thoughts that are holding you back, realize that they're just fictitious demons and they can be slain.
That's true. I love it. You know, actually, you reminded me of a webinar I attended this week, hosted by Rethink Academy, and man, it was a life-altering experience. First of all, of course, it was a webinar, and they were trying to get people to join their platform, but they provided a lot of value just for anyone in attendance. Even if you had no interest in moving forward with them, they provided a lot of value about how to think about yourself in terms of being an entrepreneur. And one of the things that came up was fear. And I think Paul O'Mahony or Sam Drust, I think it was Sam actually, fear, false expectations appearing real.
That's a good acronym.
Yeah, that one is really good. Actually, I put a video out earlier today, false expectations appearing real, and first attempt in learning, FAIL.
First attempt in learning.
Yeah.
That's some good things, because I would say my first year was full of FAILs.
Yeah.
And honestly, they didn't. I found out what worked and what didn't. I found that being involved in all community events and activities, that helped me out a lot. And where I'm not visible with a storefront, and I can't really build a light up sign in my front yard due to neighborhood codes, but I can at least decorate my vehicles and drive them around and show off that way. That's actually helped me quite a bit. And being a part of the community, of course, I'm just going to keep on repeating myself over and over again saying that. So I would say find out just find out good in-person networking stuff, because it's the in-person stuff, people see you as a real legitimate person, and get business cards, follow up with people, talk to them over and over again, and they like the outreach.
Where would a person get business cards?
They would get business cards through me if you want.
At Jefferson Graphics.
Jefferson Graphics.
That's where I get my cards. Excellent. That's really cool. And actually, I love how important community is for you and how you continue to push that subject.
Right.
I hope you continue to do so, because especially now in today's age with, digital deep fakes, AI and stuff like that, people, when they're on their phone and their computers, it's hard to tell what's real anymore, you know?
Right.
And I think that, we all know in today's day and age, visibility is currency, right? If people can't see you, they can't buy you.
Right.
It's just simple as that, you know? And, but being in the community and being active, it makes you real. People can see you, they can touch you, they can feel your vibe, right? That's a word we don't hear as much as we used to.
Right.
And I think it's because people aren't connecting, right? There does seem to be some sort of a digital divide that's producing social anonymity, that's making it hard for people to connect in person. But when we do, we're reminded that that's how the brain and body was built, off of human connection and interacting with people face to face. Yeah. And when we're able to return to that, man, it really does open things up, in my opinion. Now, something else I wanted to draw attention to was you had stated something about being semi-ambidextrous, and now you kind of played off this a little bit. Oh yeah, when I'm dealing cards, people are like, "Oh, are you left-handed?"
Yeah, suddenly that's one of my only real left-handed talents, but
Mhm.
but I think that you could be, I think that you have to be flexible with both hands. Make sure you're well versed, and I think when you try to do something with your uncomfortable side, then that's kind of how, like, say you're left-handed and you do something with your right-handed. I mean, it's not going to be as well delivered, but it's a good metaphor for getting out of your comfort zone and trying things that um, might not sound possible.
That's exactly what I was typing right now. I was going to bring that up about, is it like an exercise to get out of your comfort zone?
I'd say it's a good metaphor for it.
Okay, that's amazing. The reason why I wanted to bring it up specifically for me is that in attempting to navigate my limiting self-beliefs in order to break free and become an entrepreneur, I've learned in dealing with a lot of artists. My landlady is an artist, and I mean, it's Southern Oregon. There are a lot of artists in this area
Right.
that produce amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
But something I've heard a lot from artists is that being an artist is difficult. Excuse me. Doing the art is the easy part. The business side is difficult for an artist-minded person.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are some people who are very business-oriented, but the artistic and creative side, the soft skills,
Mm-hmm.
are lost on them. And I think that when someone does consciously work to use their dominant and non-dominant hand, that it helps to bridge the gap between the artist and the executive.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you've had a good balance of being an artist and a business person? Tell us.
I would say so. It's honestly, to have an art skill, you have to. It is much of it is something you're born with, but you also have to discipline yourself and train yourself how to do it the right way and convey it. Because I mean, there's some people who, like, they're a talent that you either have or you don't, but you can also learn how to do it, and it's you can't just say that it's a limiting belief. Say, well, I wasn't born with this, so I don't have it. But no. Maybe if you actually committed and learned something, maybe you actually achieve something that might not even be you not have thought possible.
Yeah.
And it's great because I've had some good people I work with who've helped me, and I've helped them. I have a business partner who does screen printing and embroidery. And in fact, this is something that Jefferson Graphics now offers. I didn't offer this my first year and a half of starting it, but this fine stitch right there, you can even see the fine exact details of the E and the R right here.
Very nice.
And today I'm also wearing my a screen printed shirt of one of my clients, the Wild Road Tap House.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're a brand new bar and tap house up on 7th Street.
Okay, great.
I recommend them. Great people. Great.
Amazing.
If you're into cold beer and food carts, I recommend it.
All right. Duly noted, ladies and gentlemen. Come on down to the Wild Road Tap House, courtesy of TJ. Tell him TJ sent you.
That's right.
Amazing. Thank you so much, TJ. All right. So this is the part of the show now where I'd like to ask a little bit about. So we learned about your first year, but in terms of like the big picture, where do you think you are now? Are you in the beginning? Are you still formulating? Have you established yourself and now you have some breathing room? Where would you say you are now?
It's kind of crazy because I thought like I was on a fast forward trajectory last summer where everything was accelerating, going super fast, but then fall it slowed to a crawl, and it was hard to stay afloat. But then this month, business is getting busy again. Mm-hmm. I think it comes in unexpected ebbs and flows. For now, I haven't been Jefferson Graphics hasn't been around long enough to say, okay, well, this is my fast season and this is my slow season, because it still isn't predictable quite yet. Often, if you could stay busy, well, lucky you. I mean, you just need to find out. Don't get discouraged when things kind of slow to a crawl, and don't get lazy either. Don't find a way to get lazy.
Yeah. Thank you, TJ. That's great advice. I really appreciate that.
I have one things I still continue to love doing is just I want to expand my laser engraving side. I feel like my sign building and my digital decal stuff and my screen printing embroidery stuff is doing pretty good, but I do a lot of custom laser engraving, and I find that where Jefferson Graphics can expand more is more there, and I'm hoping to accrue more clients that would be regulars for laser engraving stuff, like this name tag right here.
Yeah.
That was laser engraved, and I did a few office name plates for some investment companies in Medford.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I wanted to take note that actually that name tag is very professionally done. But tell us about that other the decal down there.
Oh yes, this is my suitcase I always take to my job sites when I have to go to a storefront to whether it is install vinyl or anything that needs to be mounted at on an off-site job location. And I carry this in this vintage suitcase because, well, one, it's very versatile. They don't make suitcases like this anymore.
No, they don't.
And I figure that it's also a good conversation starter because it's so unique and different. It's a kind of a tacky, old school pea green color, but I got some reflective vinyl from my workshop, and I just decided that this would be like the perfect place to just do a walking billboard.
Yeah, that reflective.
I get a lot of questions, a lot of compliments on this vintage suitcase. Inside, I have inside I carry my heat gun to heat shrink the vinyl. I always bring an extension cord. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Masking tape all the time, tape measure, squeegees.
Wow. Can we turn that open and just let people see the inside a little bit?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Look at this texture. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's like a coffin. I mean, it's
basically
you could sleep in here if it were big enough. Yeah, this is really cool. But I gotta say, these graphics, when I was looking at the camera, it looks like these graphics are just lit up. I don't know if you can see it from this area. But
you gotta just swivel it. Maybe the viewers
it looks
can
like
see
there's
it
a
below.
light inside the box.
Yeah, this vinyl comes in all different textures and qualities. You can get glossy, matte, reflective, still, carbon fiber vinyl. You know,
really,
there's a lot of different pattern vinyls you could do. Like you can even get chrome vinyl to make it look like it's metallic and shiny.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if you've ever seen like those cars that you drive that are driving down the road. They look like a solid chrome. Yeah, that's a vinyl wrap. Paint can't do that.
Sure, that would make sense. Yeah, it's like, what kind of gloss is that? You know?
Right. It's like there's a mirror on wheels.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They think that they chrome plated the whole car. No, that's a vinyl wrap.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, we know where you are now. We know a little bit about where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. Like people think that a limiting thing that a lot of customers kind of say is, well, he works out of his house. Is he a real business? Well, when I showcase my portfolio, and I'm very blessed to have a tall enough RV garage that I can do large, heavy trucks that stand tall off the road. Like I've done a semi-route for a roofing company before.
Really? Oh wow!
I've done some big tow trucks as well that they're pretty tall, almost the size of a motorhome, basically.
So you can do just about anything.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
That's incredible.
It's always good to wrap tall objects in an enclosed environment. The challenge with vinyl is that Um, I don't like installing it when it's too cold because it becomes brittle, but when it becomes too hot, it becomes too stretchy, and when it becomes too stretchy, then
Right.
it becomes all lopsided, and it's lopsided at best, or it loses the adhesion.
Wow. So you actually, it's best for you to operate in a temperature controlled environment.
Right. This time of year, I like to work in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
In the summertime, I like to work in the morning.
Right. That's important. Wow. I never would have thought of that. Never would have thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty amazing. Well, TJ, this is the part of the show where we like to showcase you as a business and how we as a show can help you.
Okay.
So this show is primarily for investors, local community members, clients, and fellow local and aspiring entrepreneurs.
Right.
My first question for you for this section of the show is, are you looking for an investor right now?
Well, at this time, not so much.
Okay.
That might come. I'm not going to take it off the table forever, but there's always a possibility.
So you're open to receiving calls, but you're not actively looking for an investor.
That's correct.
Okay, great. So, what do you have any comments you would like to share to your current or future clients?
I would say that with me being a small business and what you want to do, there's a few sign makers in the area. They're kind of bigger legacy companies. People often ask me, why should I go to you when I could go with these people? I said, okay, well, you could go with those people, but at the end of the day, they deal with tons more customers, and any mistake they make is just a footnote, whereas any mistake or mishap I have can be detrimental and catastrophic. So I'm going to focus a lot more time and effort to making sure that your needs are met and that all my work is done flawlessly and to the best of my ability, whereas they are a larger agency and they can afford to make mistakes, whereas a small guy like me absolutely cannot.
I like that. Yeah, so there's definitely a benefit to having the ability to pay your clients a closer attention to detail.
Right. They'll look at other places like Sign Dude in Medford. They're a much bigger company. They've been around since the '90s, and
Wow.
they're the most well-known place in the valley. But I mean, you could I'm not going to they're a well-known company, but when at the end of the day, I can't afford to make the mistakes that they can to keep their business reputation low, because they have a long time standing reputation. I try to work things, get things done fast, fit them in my schedule, and get in, get out, and get on with things. So I want to make sure that I meet all my clients with a fast turnaround time, because I know that business owners, they have ideas and they want to execute things quickly.
Right.
And oftentimes when you go with large companies that are well known, you're kind of just kept in a waiting queue for an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah, I think it is difficult to be able to provide high quality service and a close attention to detail when you have too large of a client base.
Yeah.
And you're trying to pump them out rapidly, and I do feel like
that's where mistakes can happen, and when you're for things and you have a larger team that you're not actively supervising. So
yeah, you're in a distinct position to be able to under promise and over deliver.
Right.
For sure, absolutely. And so now, this is my favorite part of the show.
Right.
Part of the reason I got the show started was to help local aspiring entrepreneurs finally take that bet and choose to bet on themselves. Do you have one or two pieces of advice or wisdom for your fellow local and aspiring entrepreneurs? Maybe some words of wisdom or an action step or a tip to help people get started or keep them motivated?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I find that a lot of things that keep people from starting a business or fulfilling their goal is self-defeating beliefs. I think that you look at some of the most brilliant-minded people who start businesses, you kind of look at them as perfect people. They're not. No, you got to understand that you will make some mistakes and things won't go your way as well. So you got to have a plan B to fall back on. I kind of think that even when you're working in different wages, I find that you gotta, if you want to start a business, you gotta have another source of income or another safety net you can fall back on in case things aren't going your way. Um, when I first started Jefferson Graphics, I was door dashing a lot, and I was also running an online e-business, just selling cut decals and stickers and things and 3D prints on eBay and Etsy and whatnot. So that was kind of what was my side gig before the community knew who I was.
Right, right. You know, that's so important. And it's something I think a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, a lot of us want to get into starting our own business simply because we hate our job.
Yes.
Or we hate our employer.
Right.
Right. However, something that I have really latched onto is trying to convince people to view their current employer as their first investor in their new business. Right? Your job, the paycheck that you have coming in, is essentially your partner when it comes to starting your business, because they're the one bringing in the funds. Yes, you're going into work and you're trading your time for money, but that money that you have gotten from them, you can now invest that money, and the stability you have from having that job gives you the psychological freedom and the ability to know that certain things will be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important for a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, not to act hastily and say, you know, screw this, I'm out of here. Some people, that is the way it happens. Some people are so fed up that they're like, you know what, I'm going to go start my own business. And if that's the catalyst you needed to get started, by all means, do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
However, as someone who has struggled to have a job in the past, if you do have a job, consider your current employer as your first investor. You don't have to go tell them that's what they are.
No, they
Right.
they don't want to hear that.
Right.
They don't want you to think you're conspiring against them.
Sure. But yeah, I think it's important for people to appreciate what source of income they do have,
Mm-hmm.
and consider that that is what they can use to make their next step, right? To never bite the hand that feeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the way I see it anyway. Well, TJ, this has been an amazing show. Really appreciate it. One last thing.
What's that?
If neither one of us were to be alive tomorrow, and you were to have one final parting word of wisdom, what would that be?
Let's see. That's a deep question, and that's a lot to think about. I would say, like I said earlier, conquer your limiting beliefs. Understand that there's nothing wrong if stepping out of your comfort zone is your biggest step forward. The most successful people in the world are only like 2, maybe 3% of the whole population. But that's the only reason they're so successful is because they step out of their comfort zone. And you don't have to, I'm not saying do everything all at once or make a huge speech or humiliate yourself, go crazy. Just take gradual baby steps and realize what didn't seem comfortable at first is actually not that big of a deal for the long run if you just what was that? What were those acronyms that you shared with me?
Oh yeah,
Paris?
FEAR
FEAR.
and FAIL.
Yes, fear and fail. The Paris. Let's share with the listeners what those.
Yeah,
what that
absolutely.
means.
So FEAR is an acronym for false expectations appearing real, and essentially it's a way to dissolve fear, because a lot of it is, it's all in your mind. Another phrase I like a lot is borrowing trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's trouble you don't have yet. You're borrowing it.
Right.
Also, FAIL is a first attempt in learning. There
Yeah.
are no failures. There are just first attempts in learning.
Right.
Thank you.
Very much so.
Well, TJ, this has been an amazing episode. Thank you so much for allowing me into your lovely home, giving us the opportunity to share with the locals the amazing gift that is Jefferson Graphics.
Yes, thank you so much, Paris. All right.
That was great.